Hey guys, quickie review on these Smael watches. If you follow Nutnfancy, he did a review on these and people exploded. These are obviously G-Shock clones. And not only that, but they're really cheap G-Shock clones, like $10, give or take $2 or $3. Like some of them are $7, some are like 15. Really cheap, really inexpensive. And people hate clones. They absolutely hate them. And Nutnfancy did the video, and it caught my attention because, holy cow, kids are going crazy today, guys. I apologize for all the noise in all these videos. But sorry, I don't have any other time to film when they're not around. As I was saying, Nutnfancy did the video. People were kind of like, hey, this is really cool. And other people were just absolutely destroyed that he would recommend a clone, and of course the world is full of clones. I mean, how long has the Submariner been cloned, and another high-end watch has been cloned over and over and over again. Same goes with knives. How many people have made a Barlow knife? Come on. So these Smaels here, and we have two models here. This one's the 1545, and this one is the 1617, maybe 1517. And they were pretty cheap, relatively inexpensive, and they're obviously 100% G-Shock clones. And I grabbed them, and I haven't worn this one, because that one I actually bought for a gift for my nephew. He's actually turning 9 today, and I thought this would be a really cool gift for him, since these big, chunky, tactical watches, are so popular right now, and they're not really my style. I don't like big watches. I would probably break this inside of a week, because it's so big, and it would just catch on things and break. So I've been wearing this one quite a bit, though, to try it out, and I have not broke it yet. Cool thing is it comes with a plastic screen protector, so I haven't scratched it up too bad because that is one big face there. You can see these things have a date and time, a digital display, as well as an analog. Now, I've tested these for accuracy, and I'm losing about, I'd say, 1 to 2 seconds per day on these watches. So you're talking about 5-6 minutes a year, which is okay, but these are really cheap quartz movements, guys. These are not high-end things. Will this last 20 years? Probably not. Will you get a couple good years out of it? Probably, Nothing great. You're talking silicone band. It's actually, because it is modeled to the G-Shock, everything is relatively thick and bulky. The band is thick and bulky. The buttons are thick. Everything's thick and big. So I think the odds of breaking it, aside from the band, is pretty slim unless you really smash this thing. I doubt that's nothing more than acrylic, so that would probably be your weak point as well. The buttons are pretty spongy, to be honest. I've kind of hit them, and you see it switches between military and regular. They're pretty spongy. It also has an alarm function and a stopwatch function and time set. That's it. It doesn't have any of the advanced features that the actual G-Shocks have. It says water resistance. Yeah, I'm not crazy enough to try it. The light literally just lights up the numbers. Nothing great. You have a bunch of weird dials that do nothing. So essentially, this copies a G-Shock in look only, not in function, because the G-Shocks have tons of great features to them. These are literally just a really, really inexpensive quartz watch made to look like the G-Shock, and that's fine if you like the look. If you like the look of a G-Shock and you just want to spend $10, okay, this is great. You may have to replace it every year or two or less, but at $10, it's really not that bad. You think about, a G-Shock being $70, $80 versus this being $10. You can get your money's worth, especially if you're, a keyboard crusader and don't really do a ton of tough work or really kind of abuse this thing. The accuracy is okay, you can obviously put screen protectors on it and all that, so not terrible. The band is, this thing's like stage 9 sweat factory right here, to be honest. The shame is, too, because of these weird things which I cannot get out because they're rounded in the bottom, so I can't get a hex wrench in there. So I can't replace the bands with anything else, because I really would have loved to put a NATO strap or something on these, but that's just not happening. Now this little guy here that's going to be my gift is a kind of a blackout version, which you see a lot with the G-Shocks, where it's the black display with the lighter colored things. This one has the... These guys just love it. They just think it's so funny to disturb these videos. This one has the light switch down here, which is kind of cool. I like that. And that's kind of why I want to give them this one, because I think this one just kind of, with that light switch there and all that. That bigger time button, all that. Same thing, different watch, same thing. It has 2 light switches, which is funny. The lume is terrible. This has luminescent paint on it, but you got to leave it out in the sun all day, and it barely works. It's really horrible. Same thing with this one. Everything's kind of bolted together, but all the bolts have these the bottoms are rounded out, so you're really not going to be able to do anything too crazy with these things. So yeah, so they're $10, and like I said, guys, for the purposes of what I'm doing here, which is really checking these out for you guys, and I'm actually taking off the real G-Shock to show you this. So I'm going to put one of these on the wrist and just show you how big and ridiculous they are. That's what they are. I get it that people like the G-Shocks, but I am not a big watch, guys. I don't like big watches. I never have. I have an 8.5-inch wrist, guys. So bear in mind, I only have one more on here. So if you have a wrist bigger than 8.5, don't go for it, because this is actually kind of tight. This is not where I could spin it around. So you can see this thing is gigantic on my wrist. I have an 8.5-inch wrist, and this thing is gigantic on there. I mean, look at that. I mean, it's like having a hockey puck strapped to your arm. I like that the band's really big and tough, but yeah, this thing just sticks so much off my wrist. It's just really, it's tough to wear, guys, to be honest. It's really tough to wear. Have I worn it? Yes, I've forced myself to wear it. I would not, guys, to be honest, outside of this channel, when this review's done, this is going in a box, and it'll be used occasionally for future reviews, you know, or comparing and contrasting, you know, but I wouldn't wear this. I absolutely 100% would not wear it. It's too big, it's too bulky for me, and just, it really is cheap, you know, guys. I really, you know, you can feel it, you know, the acrylic, even though this one has a protector too, the acrylic just feels really thin when you tap on it. The buttons are very spongy when you push them. The crown is very spongy when you set the time. You know, there's a lot not going on here other than looks. So, giving this to a 9-year-old would be thrilled, because he doesn't care about a lot of the things us hard gear users will do. My nephew will think this is the greatest thing on earth just because of the way it looks. But me as an adult, I value toughness, I value quality, I value those things. I'm completely for getting away with cheap gear. And that's A-okay with me. And let me find it. Okay, here's the thing, and this is the problem. You like cheap gear, that's great. But you can buy a Timex or a cheap G-Shock Casio that will be a lot tougher and have better features than these. So it kind of bothers me, because it's like they exist for no other purpose than to look like a G-Shock. And I'm glad they don't like try and copy. You know, they put the logo very loud, you know, so there's no way you're going to confuse this with a G-Shock and buy it on the black market, you know, when you're selling your kidney. So, okay, I'm glad they did that, you know, but in the end, I can't say this thing would be waterproof. I can't say it'd be shockproof. I can't say it's anything other than look like a G-Shock. So, you know, if you want a G-Shock, if you want to try before you buy, good move. Because, you know what? Wearing this, holy crap, I could never wear one of those big G-Shocks. It completely and totally told me not to spend the money on a big G-Shock. But also kind of was helpful, you know, knowing what I like, what I don't like. I've been out of watches for a long time. I'm just getting back into them, so this was a nice experiment. You know, plus it was nice because, you know, I got a nice gift out of the deal, and I got a gift I can pass along, and this one here will just kind of end up being, you know, for the channel, videos, comparisons, all that stuff for size. But yeah, it's pretty ugly, guys. I think it's ugly. I don't like the G-Shocks. I think the dial is too crowded. I don't like that. I mean, if you look at this, you can barely tell the time. I mean, I can see, you know, the analog I can barely read. I can read the digital fairly well, but, you know, when things get in the way, it's very difficult to read. I don't like these crowded displays. I like simple. I like that, guys. That's what I like. 319. Boom. No looking, no, what is that? What number is that? What is it? No, I can read it 100% of the time, even no matter whatever. This isn't the case with these. Okay, I get it, guys. I get it. I understand why Nutnfancy did it, because these things are, when you feel them, they're big and they're heavy and there's a lot to them. But, you know, unless you just want the look, stay clear, you know, spend the money, get a decent Casio, get a decent Timex, and spend your money on something that will last you a lifetime.